I felt so bad, like so frustrated, that I even cried. Like I felt super bad, and I went home thinking, this is a lot of money, and when you go to travel abroad to play, you have a lot of expenses.
Biggest mistake I've made, that's an easy one. Quite a popular one on my stream. I moved up to 50-0 for the first time. It was like a year ago, I think. And I played a hand with queens against a player that was watching the stream. I was on the button and I opened it up. 3-bet I called, I think. Ended up getting 350 big blinds in on a 10-high board with 2 queens, which apparently was too thin. Yeah, definitely that one, and I learned that the deeper you are, you know, the more you have to understand how that affects your opponent's calling range, because I don't think there was many hands worse than mine that were going to call me. So I definitely dusted that one off, but a lesson learned for sure.
One mistake that springs to mind is not seeing a piece of action when you're about to take your own action. So say you're at the table, there's a raise from under the gun and you're on the button, and you don't notice that they've raised because you're distracted or whatever, and you say raise and then put out the wrong amount of chips. Then you're kind of in a tricky situation because everyone knows you have a button opening range and not a 3-betting range. To remedy that, I always just pause for a moment. When it's my turn to act, I look around the table, I make sure that there's no other chips out there other than the blinds, so that I don't make a mistake in my own action.
When I started to play poker, actually I was a winning player, but not because I was good. I was just playing versus worse players than me. And I didn't study much, and actually I didn't study at all. And I was a little arrogant, and I thought I was better than I actually was. And when I started to play against more competent opponents, I had a shock and I realized, oh my God, I should have used my time better, I should have committed better to the game, and I had to catch up. And if I would have used that time better, probably I would have just saved time and had a easier path.
A few years ago, when I was playing in Los Angeles, I was playing a 5-10 game. I was playing 20-hour session, and I remember I was feeling very tired and thinking, okay, this is my last round. I played a hand that we ended up in the river, and the guy bet 1,000 in a 1,500 pot, and I thought, okay, he's not very strong. I can bluff him off and put him away from the hand. I was so tired that I misread his stack. So I shoved thinking that he had a lot of money behind, and I shoved only for like 200 euro more. He eventually called me and I had to say, nothing, like I have nothing. So I lost a big pot and I felt so bad, like so frustrated, that I even cried. Like I felt super bad, and I went home thinking, this is a lot of money, and when you go to travel abroad to play, you have a lot of expenses.
Biggest mistake I've ever made in my poker career was at the World Series of Poker, day 2. I look down at my hand and I've got pocket tens. I raise it up, gets called out the big blind, and flop comes King, Queen of Hearts, blank. We go to return, and it's the Jack of Hearts. He checks to me. And I remember thinking, hey, if the 9 of Hearts comes in the river here, I've got a straight flush. And lo and behold, the 9 of Hearts comes in the river. My opponent bets, and bets quite big, and I, in my mind, have a straight flush. So I go for a raise, and a big one. And my opponent goes into the tank, and he's thinking, and he's thinking, and he's thinking. And I look back at my hand, I've got the 10 of diamonds. I am just now praying that this guy does not call me. Luckily, he does fold, and he folds the ace of hearts face up for the nut flush. And I get away with that one. It didn't go against me in this occasion, but it did teach me that I should always commit to memory exactly what suits I have in my hand. So now whenever I look back at my cards and I've got pocket tens, I say 10 of diamonds, 10 of spades, and I'm repeating that over and over in my head so I don't forget it when we go to the flop.